Hello and welcome to Dream Team Coach TV with Betway. I'm Sean Burke. Joining me is Dream Team Coach Nick Elliott, Andy Taylor and Crystal Palace's second favourite Townsend, Jack. Thanks for joining us today, lads. The mystery word game is still going, so if you don't want to know what it is and you want to play along, look away now. There it is. Chelsea played Arsenal on Tuesday night and it was a cracking match. Chelsea had some key players put in a shift for them, but I think their undisputed man in the match has got to be Mustafi. What a performance. Is Mustafi the most error-prone footballer in Premier League history? Because he's got a long list of high-profile mistakes at this stage.
Frankly, but imagine this, I watch the game and everyone, it's night scene, they got the flags, they got the pyrotechnics, the flamethrowers, all of this. They're walking out and you're expecting this big performance from some amazing players, great football. And then you've got calamity after calamity. And you've got that little, lofted pass back?
Yeah, the thing is, he's so unpredictable. He's actually okay for the rest of the match, but then he just has these massive brain freeze moments that changes the match.
That's the beauty of Mustafi is that it's not like, you're watching him and it's like, oh, he's all over the shop, shop. Like, he actually looks fine. Yeah. And then suddenly, comedy is all about timing. Suddenly he'll just go bang and drop an absolute clanger across the goal. And you think, his ability to go from Beckenbauer to Bramble like that is unbelievable. And that's what I think is the real frustrating thing for Arsenal fans. How many points has he cost him in the last 18 months?
I think that's the thing that drags it out of proportion is there's probably been really bad centre-halves down the years because there's been some terrible clubs in the Premier League. But it's the fact that this guy is paid, it's so cliche, but it's so true. Like, he's paid the money of the equivalent of people at Barcelona, at Real Madrid, at Liverpool. He's probably paid more than Joe Gomez, more than Matip, more than Lovren. He's probably paid more than all those guys, and yet he's costing his team.
They tried to get rid of him already as well.
Yeah. Well, that's it. I think it's all about expectation for what you. It's not, in a way, it's not his fault that he's not good enough, but when he comes in and you pay that much money for him and he's won the World Cup and he was at pretty prime age when he came in, all those things, thinking, oh, brilliant, we needed to solve our centre-back problem, we've done it, we've brought in a World Cup winner who's in his mid-20s.
I did some digging, because you asked the question, is Mustafi the worst ever in terms of errors? Well, there's actually a statistic that Premier League do, and it's errors leading to goals.
Great.
Now, I don't think this stat's been going for more than probably 10 years.
It's been going since 2013, I think.
Okay, so just in that period, but it's still a nice little gauge. So since 2013, as Nick said, who would you think the three outfield players that have got the most errors leading to goals? So not just errors, I mean they've scored from them. The actual highest was Asmir Begovic. I think he's had 27.
Keepers are all top 10, aren't
but
they?
Who are the three outfield players, do you think?
Phil Jones?
No.
John Stones?
No. I think Stones was near though. He was up there.
Makes me think it's going to be someone you rate.
No, I mean there's three players that you'll definitely know.
Gary Cahill?
Yep, he was number one.
Really?
Gary Cahill. So he's made 8 errors that have led to goals.
Wow.
The other two, so one's a former Liverpool player and one is a former Man City Everton centre-half.
Lescott.
Lescott, yeah. And then the other one is ex-Liverpool, bald lad.
Skirtle.
Yeah, Skirtle.
Really? I was surprised by that.
Because we're filming this on a Thursday morning, we can actually react to what happened last night. Man United lost 2-0 at home to Burnley, and I've seen quite the meltdown on social media since. I mean, were you guys watching the match?
I was actually watching Leicester West Ham. But I turned over for the last 20 minutes, which I thought was just great fun.
Yeah. Cracking goal from Rodriguez as well.
Yeah, it was a great goal.
Absolutely
hate
that.
Yeah. I mean, the fans seem to be a bit lost at this stage. They keep having false starts.
As in not being in their seats.
Yeah. Lost geographically.
What I was trying to say a few weeks ago is that the plan B is already there. They've shown they can do the counter-attacking thing. If it comes down to that with James and Martial and Rashford. But the majority of games, including Burnley at home, you need to be the team dominant and pushing the emphasis and breaking teams down, and their plan A, they haven't got one. People slag off Pogba a lot, and I know Andy does a lot, but at least when he's there, it's like he's trying to find passing alleys and try different things and get and moving. Like now, there's just no inspiration whatsoever in midfield.
There's nothing. You can't really say anything more than it's already been said about United. I mean, they're at least 5, 6, 7 years away from even challenging again. Like even the signings they're making. I mean, I know Wan-Bissaka's young, but I looked at him last night and I was like, the way that I look at, say, a fullback, and I think Alexander-Arnold's obviously skewed this a little bit, but if you're going to play in a side that is meant to be challenging for the top 4, and you're going forward, Wan-Bissaka's amazing defensively, but almost you actually want your qualities to be more going forward. I think we've proven that with Trent, because Trent's not the best defender we've ever seen. He might grow into be that, but his going forward ability has meant that he's actually now regarded as one of the best right backs in the world.
I do feel like that would be less of an issue if they had better functioning midfield and everything. Because now they're kind of like, we're trying to get the fullbacks to bail us out, And I know obviously Liverpool fullbacks are important, and it is in modern football, but Wan-Bissaka not being the greatest crosser of the ball wouldn't be much of an issue if they had two midfielders that were running the game. But
I suppose
I was watching Leicester West Ham. Ricardo Pereira is like Trent and Wan-Bissaka rolled in together. He's unbelievable. He might be the best right back in the league because he racks up tackles like Wan-Bissaka, and he joins every single attack like Trent does. He's a great, underrated player, very good.
It was a weekend of shock results last week. Burnley beat Leicester, Chelsea lost to Newcastle, and Liverpool had a goal disallowed. In fact, even more shockingly, VAR seemed to kind of work overall, except for this absolute howler. What kind of no-respect football club would be happy to benefit from such a decision? Andy,
Where
any thoughts on
have you
this?
dug that one out from? What was even that? Just a random passage of play?
No,
Is it a handball? Oh, he doesn't even look at him playing. He just
what is this?
What is it?
It's a handball from Traore
For what?
in the lead up to a goal last
Absolute
weekend.
nonsense. I've not seen that. I'm not seeing it.
This is like a manager after
Yeah.
a
That
game
didn't
going,
happen.
That's
It
a
didn't happen.
nigger here.
It didn't happen. And where have you dug that? That's literally probably from just like a random
No,
passage of play.
no,
He's probably got his back to goal there. He's just running back to play.
It was in the lead up to a goal.
Literally, that is it's a long ball. He chests it down, turns and runs, and then gets the through ball and then scores.
No.
Just no.
I've not seen it.
Mike Dean celebrated his 500th game as a Premier League referee last weekend. A very impressive achievement, especially when you consider he's never lost sight of what matters most, himself. We've got a few Mike Dean questions for you as well, in a little game of Dean there, done that. All right. Who does Mike Dean support?
Tranmere?
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. Got it in one. How many yellow cards has he given in total in the Premier League? Closest guess wins.
Jesus.
His first match was
260.
Oh, way too
More.
low.
Yeah.
Way more.
1,000?
He loves dishing them out.
1,000? Higher.
Higher. He's played 500 games.
2,200.
Too high. 1,838 yellow cards. So, why might you spot Mike Dean on a golf course when he's not refereeing?
Because he plays golf.
This guy.
He caddies on the ladies' European tour.
Yeah, he's right.
That
Well.
is such a Mike Dean thing to do. That's perfect.
What was Mike Dean not so fond of when refereeing at West Ham's London Stadium?
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Bubbles.
Yeah.
Don't get many of them down at the London Stadium these days.
So a lot of people say that he's got a vendetta against Arsenal, don't they? He's reffed the similar amount of games between Man United and Arsenal. And I think every 3.5 games for United, he gives a penalty to United. And I think the average for Arsenal is like every 21 games, he gives a penalty to
Wow.
So I know there's obviously different factors there of
Yeah.
like, obviously probably United do get more penalties or whatever, but like that's pretty mental, isn't it?
Yeah.
You may have seen that a poor, unfortunate Newcastle fan got a corner flag in the balls last weekend, highlighting the importance of celebrating with caution.
Has this ever happened to you? Have you suffered an injury while celebrating that wasn't your fault? You could be entitled to compensation. Here at SAC, we've got your back. And your sack, literally in this case. Got a corner flag in the balls? The lad next to you knocked over your pint? Just like the drink down your sleeve, we've got you covered. And we'll get it replaced. The pint, not your balls. Tired of VAR making your celebrations look ridiculous in hindsight? Well, we've got bruised egos covered too. we can seek a court-ordered humiliation of the ref that made you look so ridiculous. Call now on 1-800-TEARS-FOR-CHEERS and get your sack sorted.
It's the dankest part of the week. The lads submit a football meme to the Dream Team Instagram page, and you folks get to vote for your favourite. Producer Graz, bring on the memes. Alright, this one actually made me laugh quite a bit, just mainly because of the source video. Oh.
I mean, I don't need to say anything, do I really? Well, you did like it.
On
the nose.
Another big team struggling to get into the top 4. Literally the same exact
I know,
wording.
but they've just been
same
terrible.
exact wording as last week, but you've just replaced the big team.
Yeah, but know your audience.
You just put Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, Man United.
Yeah.
Just going to rotate those every
But I mean,
single
like, they've
week.
literally lost to Burnley. There we go. Like, that is them.
You put that out before that game.
Yeah, I've preempted the Burnley. Well, I'm not a one-trick pony, mate. I've had a lot of diversity in my memes, I can tell you that. It's the first time I've used a white bar, actually, as well. So
Wow,
if
yeah,
we're talking about diversity...
Shambles.
Okay, next up.
This is great.
There you go. See, look at that. Great bit of specific content relating to the weekend's action. You could only use on that weekend. Not about a top 16 because, there's more to the Premier League than just the traditional top 6. It's brilliant.
Alright, next up.
So I have done top 6.
look at it.
I've changed.
yeah.
But I've not gone. It's about an incident that happened.
I actually think that's okay because that's about a very specific incident from the week, reflected on the weekend's action.
Yeah, yours is just
Don't mind that.
broad, lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
Tripe. You are the Mrs. Brown boys of memes.
Yeah.
Let's hear the results. Producer Graz, please.
It's gonna win. I know it.
In third place is... It's Nick.
But I won the hearts and minds.
No, you haven't.
I won
No
the
one
hearts
out there
and minds
gives
of
a
the
toss
purists.
about your memes.
Exactly, but I'm doing it from now on, I'm doing it for artistic integrity.
Second place.
It's me.
I don't even want to say it.
It's gonna be. It's just. Say,
It's Jack, so that means the winner is Andy Taylor. Yeah,
Absolute
congratulations.
disgrace.
easy.
Do you actually feel good?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
It's the FA Cup this weekend, a competition that's been running for 149 years, almost as long as James Milner's last bleep test. He just does not stop. There's a lot of talk these days about the magic of the FA Cup and how that may have faded somewhat, but do you agree with that? Do you still think the FA Cup has a lot to offer?
I kind of feel like this one has been a bit tainted because it was a bit of a rubbish draw.
Yeah.
It all depends on the draw, doesn't it? This one came out, and I've got a theory about the FA Cup, right? You should get like whoever's drawing it, and it's usually some celebrity like Rod Stewart. Or
that what?
Whoever's doing it. If it's just a boring tie, stick them back in. Get them back in. Like, Burnley, Norwich, right? Yeah. Two teams that are both in the bottom half of the Premier League. Same league, but relatively close together. We don't want to see that in the FA Cup as well. Stick them back in. And just keep doing it until it's relatively interesting. Like, until you get like a rivalry or like cross leagues or something, a game you haven't seen in a while. Then like Brentford, Leicester, I'm actually looking forward to that. It's quite interesting. But apart from that, it's not a great draw. So
no, true.
Redraw.
Yeah, just
let's have them all again.
Well, I think the cup's there for teams like Wolves, right, who've got absolutely no chance of winning any silverware in terms of the Premier League and that. But we could, as proven last year, get to the semis.
Europa League, could win that.
Yeah, I know. But even I don't even get buzzing for it until probably the quarters, I would say. And even then, it's like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because the excitement of the Premier League's so good these days that you miss it so much when it's not there. Or the Championship. I love Championship as well.
I mean, yeah, it is one for the little clubs though. But I went to see Leyton Orient play Maldron and Tiptree earlier this year, and my housemate works with their fullback because he's a teaching assistant. And he was telling me, he was like asking him about what kind of prep he was doing for the match, and he was like, yeah, I had fish and chips the night before. Still went out and beat them 2-0 away from home. Yeah. So stuff like that can happen.
So learn this. Eat fish and chips.
Fish and
before a game.
chips. I mean, one match that's a potential upset is Spurs Southampton, because Southampton are looking pretty good. But like we were saying earlier, Mourinho kind of could be focusing on this as his, best chance of silverware this year. Like, do you see them slipping up there?
Well, I mean, when Pep's obviously come out, I think he said about the League Cup, didn't he? And he said that we should scrap the League Cup. But it's easy to say when he's won it loads of times, or City have definitely won it loads of times. Whereas Mourinho, he's looking at the FA Cup as a justification for why he's at the club. So it's a tough one, isn't it? Everyone comes at it from vested interests, and obviously all the lower league clubs want that glory away day, don't they? They want that tie against Old Trafford where they can get half the ticket sales and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's weird because obviously in the media there's so much bias, and on social media there's so much bias towards the top 6 clubs, and we think that their sentiment represents the rest of football.
Well, this season of the FA Cup, like, because obviously the Premier League is settled effectively, and then the weird little non-scrap for top 4 where everyone doesn't want it, like, it's very open. Someone like Chelsea and, like I say, Spurs and Arsenal should be thinking we could easily stumble into the FA Cup final here.
Yeah.
And if Liverpool were going to keep, you know, they could win the treble, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But they're going to thinking Champions League more preference. They probably still play a reduced team for the next 2 rounds, maybe.
Yeah.
One of those other teams could be thinking, right, let's just focus on the FA Cup, put our best teams out for that, get into the final, then you never know what happens. Well, probably get beaten 3-0 by Liverpool.
It's time for the stats game again, where you guys test me with some football facts relating to the FA Cup fixtures this weekend, or the FA Cup in general. So 2 are true, 1 is false. I have to guess which is which. Are you ready? Take it away, fellas.
Okay, I'll go first. Okay, so in the 149-year history of the FA Cup, only, I think it is 3 finals have been settled with a penalty shootout.
3? Only 3?
Only 3.
I can think of 1 for sure. Okay.
Well, obviously we're talking about, is the magic of the Cup ruined? Well, only 3,000 Birmingham fans are expected to attend their FA Cup fixture at St Andrews this weekend.
3,000?
No
Yeah,
one-
bear in
no
mind the
one
capacity is 29,000.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Jack?
Well, talking about Mourinho trying to prove himself with silverware in the FA Cup, and you know, everyone says Spurs doesn't have silverware, but actually Spurs have more FA Cup trophies than Liverpool.
I think that's true. I think I don't know, because I can remember Arsenal winning it on penalties, but that was when Roy Keane still played for Man United. I'm gonna say true, false.
You've got it right.
Yeah,
It's the first time
get
ever.
in!
But
You've not really gone about it the right way, though.
yeah, because there's actually only been 2 penalty shootouts in the 100.
Oh, really?
But here's why, because we actually forget that penalty shootouts are a fairly new invention, and they only came in the 90s. And those 2 came in back-to-back years when Arsenal beat United, and then the next year when the Gerrard final against West Ham.
Yes, of course. All right.
So yeah,
Right,
but
that
obviously
makes
only 3,000 Birmingham fans at their own ground this week, because they're actually technically the away team, because they've drawn Coventry, who they're ground sharing with, and Coventry at home. So
I see.
Blues
That must be
fans,
weird.
away fans in their own stadium this weekend. So
must
there will be more than
That's brilliant, that
3,000.
is.
Yeah. And,
And,
so, and Spurs have?
8 FA Cups for Spurs, 7 for Liverpool.
Wow, that's surprising. Well, they're not far off, I guess. But what? It's time to look at your weekender teams for this weekend. So, as always, that's a goalkeeper, 2 defenders, 2 midfielders, and 2 strikers from this weekend's games. Take it away, producer Graz.
Oh,
right.
me. Well, annoyingly, first of all, Vardy limped off in the fixture.
Yeah, it looks like he's done his hamstring.
So Southampton are playing Spurs, so I've actually got Ali and Ings up against each other.
Good team. Let's see who's up next. All right.
Okay,
Andy.
I've enjoyed picking this. So Origi probably going to start in the cup. Jesus, I mean, he could play Aguero because Aguero didn't start, but then they've got a game against United on Wednesday, so I think he'll play Jesus. Almiron, I mean, I've absolutely slated him, but you know, he's doing all right for him at the moment.
They're at home to Oxford, right?
Yeah, and I just thought they've got so many injuries, they're going to have to play their main squad anyway. So Almiron, yeah.
Okay, and finally, next team.
Yeah, I've got the exact same strike force as Andy. Annoyingly, after United's midweek adventure, they really do look struggling. But so I'm kind of regretting now going for 2 United players, especially since Dan James hasn't scored since August, which I didn't realise until after I'd already picked the team. But he's due one.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget to submit your own weekender team. So download the Dream Team app. Submit your 7 and you could earn some real money. Just make sure you do it before the weekend's fixtures. Right, the moment we've all been waiting for. The weekend results from last week. Our new forfeit system means that each weekender loss will be added to your overall tally. Whoever has the most at the season's end does the forfeit. I just hope you're all okay with flaming bungee jumps. Right, let's see the results.
It's not good, is it?
Aguero doing a lot of the work there, isn't he?
It's not good, is it? It's not good at all.
All right, next up. Oh, not much.
Not much better, but
Making me nervous.
Pookie did score.
Yes, he did. Yeah,
Happy with that.
Pookie's done ya.
And
Alexander Arnold as well.
Charlton annoyingly was injured.
Nice to see your relegation player getting points. I like that. Because
Yeah.
mine got -1. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy with that.
Did mine as well. Okay, and finally, Jack Townsend.
You had Grealish. He scored.
Well, that's that then.
That's all he had. He got Salah as well.
Hang on. Oh yeah, because there's minus up there. Yeah.
See Mahrez.
Joking.
As if, wow, what a low scorer that is.
Danny Ings.
Townsend's, you on for the big forfeit, mate.
Big one.
What I mean, there's a way to go. Isn't there?
There's a way to go.
There is a way to go. The mystery word, it was said.
Oh.
Do you know what? I've forgotten about it.
Yeah, almost straight away, because it was said like 2 minutes after you had your rant. The mystery word I can reveal.
Hang on, wait. Let me try and retrospectively. Was it Jack?
Yeah, it was definitely that.
It was Jack. You were right about that.
He said it in his first answer because I thought, oh, Jack doesn't usually pile in with the first answer.
Jack, do you want to reveal?
It was flamethrower.
Oh no!
I'm really surprised. I'm kind of surprised he didn't call it out as well. He was
I tried to hide it behind pyrotechnics.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah.
Flamethrower.
That was the word I was trying to think of.
I don't even remember you saying.
So I was talking about they'll set the scene.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming out, flamethrowers, but they actually was.
Yeah, fair enough.
Fair
enough. He did it very well, I gotta
Yeah.
say.
No, fair enough.
Nicely done, Jack.
Oh, well done.
Well done, Jack. That's all from us this week. Thank you for joining us on Dream Team Coach TV with Betway. We'll see you again next week. Flamethrower.